One of the next videos I'll actually be doing are some of the must-have mods for your Foundry campaign. So if I've convinced you to get Foundry, keep an eye out for this next video. You know, I talk a lot of crap on movies that try to get artsy with the black and white, and now I've done it twice now in my own videos. So what does that say about me? The time for introspection is over. We're talking about mods for Foundry, baby. As mentioned earlier, mods are some of the biggest reasons I switched from Roll20 to Foundry, and so we're going to talk about the ones that make my life easier and the ones that I recommend for you to use. So let's go over the ones that I love the most, shall we? Now, before we dive into this, there's a few things that I want to go over. The good news, the bad news, and of course, the sponsorship skit. The good news. All of these mods are compatible with each other on Foundry version 9.268. I don't have a list of the version number for all of the mods, but I wrote this script on 5/30/2022. So like whatever versions were around that time, they all should be compatible with each other. The bad news is that I can't guarantee that they work with any of the mods that you might already have installed. They all work with each other, but whatever you might already have could potentially cause some issues. I've never run into any compatibility issues myself, but I don't want to give you any false hope, because sometimes you're just going to run into compatibility issues. I would definitely recommend turning them all on one by one and making sure that none of them break anything, but of course I didn't do that. I downloaded all of them at once, turned them all on, and made sure that everything worked fine, and it was good. It was a big risk. I could have made everything terribly wrong, but I didn't do that. So yeah, just download them all and hope for the best. Hello there, we're from Globesmither. We'd like to offer you a sponsorship for your channel. What? Me? You wanna, my channel? Yes, absolutely. We've seen your videos. We know how much hard work you put into your fake sponsorship bits, so we can only imagine just how good you do on a real one. How much does it pay? 3D20s and 1 coupon for advantage. We'll also throw in 1 YouTube-like a subscription. We'll turn notifications on with the notification bell. And we will send this video to 1 person who thinks bone and wings are superior. You got yourselves a deal. That's a bargain if I've ever heard it. Why am I Southern? Damn it! Alright, so I'm just going to start going through a list of mods and what they do. Better rolls for 5e. I pretty much added this mod mostly because it allows me to just make rolling with advantage or disadvantage easier. It allows you to set up an option where you can hold shift to click for advantage and control to click for disadvantage. This way you're eliminating the need for any pop-ups. There's also a lot of other settings that exist within this mod that I've never personally messed with. I recommend taking a peek and seeing what you might like. Combat Ready. This one is pretty much for my more experienced players when their turns start to take too long. It adds in a timer that starts ticking down and you can adjust the length of the timer, but it is an effective way to keep the rounds of combat relatively short. Cursor Hider. I like to be mysterious, and I prefer that my players' cursors aren't little fairies that are flying around my map, causing minor little distractions, so I have them hidden by default. And I give them a hotkey to turn it on/off if ever needed. Dice? So nice. I'm both surprised and not surprised that D&D Beyond found a way to microtransaction their dice roller, but with Foundry, it's built in. With a mod, there are a lot of lovely options that I let my players go in and customize for themselves prior to the game. We can all see each other's when we roll too. It's actually really neat. One of the downsides of D&D Beyond is that I can't see the 3D dice that my players are using. Drag Ruler. This is by far one of the most valuable tools that I have come across, and it's such a minor little thing. If you're in combat, when you drag your token, a ruler will appear. While the ruler is green, that means that you're moving within your base movement. When the ruler turns yellow, that means you're within your dashing movement. If the ruler turns red, that means that with an action dash, you cannot move this far. Forian's Quest Log. Sometimes as a DM, you give your player too many things that both you and they forget. So this allows you to easily write it all down in one place and keep track of where they were in the quest. It's also just a cool add-on as a bounty board. Let's Trade 5e. Simply letting your players trade items between your character sheets within Foundry with ease. Pings! It allows you to ping the map, like on Roll20, but with more customization. Pop out. This just allows you to pop out windows from the website itself, turning it into a window all of its own. Show notes. This one is probably top 3 for me. It is one of the greatest mods that I've come across. It allows you to pin journals to the map and show your players those journal entries. I use it a lot for world maps and city maps to show specific locations, that allows the players to double click, open it up, and see what that is, or even just act as a token that shows the name when you hover over it. In previous games that I've run, I've also used it as a storytelling tool where it marked where players have been, what happened in those specific locations, as sort of a synopsis of previous sessions. Simple calendar. This is great if you have a calendar in your setting. There is a website by the name of fantasy-calendar.com which allows you to create your own fantasy calendars. This is basically a built-in mod that is very similar to that website. Simple dice roller. This is another mod that kind of adds in basic Roll20 functionality. It allows you to roll specific dice and makes a little icon in the bottom left of the icons that exist. As you're looking through the options, there's something called Fate Dice. I don't know what it is, I don't know what it does, but I'll be damned if I don't want to enable it. Skill customization for D&D 5e. This allows your players to swap what ability they're using for a skill, which is something that I think is wholly underutilized in the world of Dungeons & Dragons. I recommend that more DMs mix and match ability scores with different skill checks, and this makes that a lot easier to do. Small time. Hey, what time is it? What time is it? Hey, what time is it? What time is it? What time is it? It's time for you to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. That's it. There's no mod. No, I'm kidding. There's a mod. There's absolutely a mod. This is a mod that allows you to track the time. It makes it appear in the bottom left corner, and you can change it in 10-minute intervals or hour-long intervals so that your player never asks what time it is again. Tidy 5e sheet. This is my favorite sheet because it lets me favorite things. You get to favorite spells, you get to favorite items, features, attacks, actions, bonus actions, and it'll place everything on your main page so you don't have to go to your spells or feature tabs for that nonsense. There is also an NPC version for DMs out there, so you can change the way that the NPCs look while you're running the game, but your players can also do this as well, and you can make it the default sheet or not the default sheet. Torch. This is another one that is one of those simple little mods that are just a quality of life improvement that make things feel just a little bit more immersive. For those of your characters who use torches or potentially even dancing lights, they can turn on a torch at the push of a button. And it even subtracts a torch from their inventory. Or you can make dancing lights, and it creates the actual lights. And that's it, folks. Those are all of the mods that I use whenever I'm running D&D in Foundry. I think all of them are great. I'm constantly striving to find new ones. They're always being updated in ways that improve the way that they work and keep them compatible with each other and the newest versions of Foundry. I'm always on the lookout for new mods as well, so if you have any that you simply cannot live without, by all means, please comment them down below so that I can steal them. In the meantime, you're going to see a bunch of little things appearing on my face. Right here probably is a subscribe button, maybe. Over here or over here, somewhere on the screen is going to be a playlist of my live stream games, and this one's just going to be the best one for you. It's pretty cool. Okay, love you, bye!